Boxing Champions presents the official weigh-in for a big night of action taking place right here in beautiful San Antonio, Texas, taking place at the Alamo Dome tomorrow night, and it's all brought to you by TGB Promotions.
How you guys doing? What's going on? This is live.
And at this time, we present the Showtime Championship Boxing Prelims weigh-in. And our prelims will be streamed live on Showtime Sports YouTube channel beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 4 p.m. Pacific. At this time, please welcome to the stage our super welterweights scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. First from Phoenix, Arizona, a battler of 25 professional bouts. Please welcome to the stage, Jose Marufo.
Let's be honest, nobody really cares about this card. I've been doing some surveys and people don't really care.
Contender from Lynn, Massachusetts. His record 23-0 with 14 knockouts. Rashidi Ellis.
This is Rashidi Ellis' PBC debut.
Once again, we're scheduled 8 rounds of boxing. To the scale, Jose Marufo.
The guy's fighting is 13-10.
146 1/4 pounds. 146 1/4 pounds for Jose Marufo. And his opponent to the scale at this time, the undefeated welterweight contender, Rashidi Ellis. $153 1/2 pounds, 153 1/2 pounds for Rashidi Ellis.
It's called Crockett's Theme from Miami Vice. So yeah, this is Rashidi Ellis' PBC debut. This guy right here that he's fighting is a late replacement. They just found him like a couple of days ago. Not even that, probably yesterday. This is going to be on the Showtime free prelims on the YouTube page. The Showtime Sports YouTube page. 7 p.m. Eastern. The main card starts at 9 p.m. with Frank Martin taking on Jackson Marinez. Then Brandon Figueroa taking on Carlos Castro. And then you're going to have the main event, Mark Magsayo defending his newly won WBC 126-pound title, the one he won from Gary Russell, against former 122-pound champion Ray Vargas. So there's fun fights, but it's not, you know, nothing that got people like really hyped.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, Showtime Championship Prelims opening bout streamed live on Showtime Sports YouTube channel. All right, fans, here we go. We continue with our official weigh-in. This time, bantamweight scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Once again, the Showtime Championship Boxing Prelims aired live, streamed live on Showtime Sports YouTube channel. First to the stage, please welcome from Caracas, Venezuela, a fine record of 20 wins, 1 loss with 14 knockouts, Michel Banques. And his opponent from San Antonio, 20 wins, 1 loss with 10 knockouts, the popular Ramon Cardenas. And our fan fighters once again ready to step onto the scale. Bantamweights 10 rounds to the scale at this time, Michel Banques.
Ooh, rat tail. Yeah, this card has no buzz. Like, I'm talking about buzz. It's like low everywhere.
117 1/2 pounds, 117 1/2 pounds for Michel Banques. And we'll bring his opponent to the scale at this time. 20 wins, 1 loss. 10 wins coming by way of knockout from San Antonio, Ramon Cardenas.
But yeah, I'm going to be here covering the card, so, you know, doing my part for you, the people.
118 and a quarter pounds, 118 and a quarter pounds for Ramon Cardenas.
I remember when I was a kid, I wanted a rat tail, and I wanted like beads on the end. Never got to get one. I wish before I went bald, that I was able to grow braids. I should have grew some braids when I had the chance, right? I should have grew a fucking fro. I never grew a fro. Life can be unfair like that sometimes.
Cardenas slightly over the weight limit. Weight limit on this fight is 118 pounds. He's 118 and a quarter. He has a couple of hours to make that weight. He will return.
It's so fucked up and demoralizing when you got to get butt ass naked and you still miss weight. Like, bro, just take me 10 miles or not even get naked. I'm going to miss weight. You know?
There they are with a bound of weight.
Maybe he got to cut the rat tail. It does look dense. But yeah, man, this card's going to take place on Saturday, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Well, fans, we once again welcome you to the official weigh-in. Premier Boxing Champions presents our official weigh-in for our big night of action. Now we're presenting our fights live on Showtime Championship Boxing, brought to you by TG.
The main card kind of all right. Like, if you're going to be in the house, I want to see what all the hype is about Frank Martin.
We invite our fighters to the stage at this time. First, the lightweight contender from Santo Domingo.
See what the buzz is.
Welcome El Phoenix, Jackson Marinez.
Marinez. There you go. Marinez, I've been saying. Marinez. Gotta say it like that.
And we invite his opponent at this time, fighting out of Dallas, Texas. He undefeated southpaw contender, Frank the Ghost Martin. Let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. Once again, we're scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. His record is 19-2 with 7 knockouts. The battle-ready lightweight.
Frank Martin is supposed to be the goods. I've only seen him fight twice, though. But tomorrow, I'm really going to pay attention. Remember this, Marinez, he fought Rolly Romero. A lot of people thought he beat Romero, and then went on to get beat up by Richard Comey the next fight.
138 pounds for Jackson Marinez, 138.
Marinez.
And now his opponent with a record of 15 wins, no losses with 11 knockouts, the rising lightweight star making his Showtime debut, Frank the Ghost Martin. 137.5 pounds, 137.5 pounds for Frank the Ghost Martin.
He's a 135-pound fighter, though. He's ranked by the WBA, but no other sanctioning bodies. He's supposed to be the next big thing in the 135-pound division. As you can see, he's trained there by Derek James. He's promoted by Man Down Promotions, Errol Spence's promotional company. I'm guessing we can see Errol Spence there tomorrow night. I'm wondering, you know, if we're going to get some fight announcements tomorrow. It's going to be lovely. What if we get Spence Crawford tomorrow? They'll probably announce Broner versus Figueroa soon, but it's looking like they may head to Fox. But we're going to see.
There they are, opening attraction on Showtime Championship Boxing. Lightweights in action, a special attraction. 10 rounds of boxing. Frank the Ghost Martin versus El Phoenix, Jackson Marinez.
I mean, listen, me being a boxing guy, you know, and I've devoted my life to boxing pretty
well,
much.
Well, fans from San Antonio, Premier Boxing Champions continues with our official.
People don't really care about this card. I hate to keep saying it.
Brought to you by TGB Promotions and Showtime in association with Iron Boy Promotions. Welcome our fighters to the stage at this time. First from Fullerton, California. He's now training in Fullerton by way of Ciudad Obregón, Sonora.
By the way, Brandon Figueroa has moved to 126. So I'm guessing he won't be going back down to 122 for the Stephen Fulton rematch. I would love to hear his thoughts on that. He's fighting Carlos Castro.
And we invite his opponent to the stage at this time from Weslaco, Texas. He's the former unified WBC and WBA super bantamweight champion of the world, the Heartbreaker, Brandon Figueroa.
I like Brendan Figueroa. He used to give me the creeps before, but I really like him now.
This bout is scheduled 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Featherweight World Title Eliminator. We invite our fighters to the scale at this time. The weight limit on this fight is a very strict 126 pounds. First, the world contender making his Showtime debut. His record 27-1 with 12 knockouts. Please welcome Carlos Castro. 124.5 pounds, a ready 124.5 pounds for Carlos Castro. And now on to the scale, his record 22-1-1 with 17 knockouts, the former world champion, the current top world contender, the popular Brandon, the Heartbreaker Figueroa. Brandon Figueroa initially weighs in at 126.2 pounds, slightly over the limit. He has 2 hours to come back and make weight at 126 pounds. Once again, this is for the WBC Featherweight World Title Eliminator. Looks like his corner has a plan to make him weigh in at that 126-pound limit, stepping onto the scale once again.
And he's just moving up. And he's just moving up to 126.
Brandon Figueroa weighs in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds even. 126 for the Heartbreaker.
He spent pretty much his entire career at 122 pounds. So now he's got this 125 right here. I'm guessing this was the weight for this. But now he's moved up, and I was wondering what Steve Fulton is going to do next, because if he can't get Marjan Akhmadaliev, who's currently injured, who's currently injured, and look like he may be out for a while, then who's Stephen Fulton going to fight next? So that's a topic we got to talk about later on in a video. So remember, this is at 126.
It's going to be a great matchup for the WBC World Title Eliminator in the featherweight division. Brandon the Heartbreaker Figueroa versus Carlos Castro.
If Figueroa wins, he's in the running to get the winner of Magsayo Ray Vargas. They said it yesterday.
Well, fans, at this time, Premier Boxing Champions presents the official weigh-in for the main event of the evening, brought to you by TGB Promotions and Showtime. At this time, please welcome our fighters to the stage for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. First, the challenger from Otumba, Mexico, the top contender and former WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, introducing Ray Vargas. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, is the defending world champion, fighting out of Los Angeles by way of Tagbilaran City, Bohol in the Philippines. Here is the WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, Mark Magnifico Magsayo.
I think it's safe to say Ray Vargas is the favorite, even though he's the
well, fans, here we go with the battle of undefeated featherweights, undefeated stars of the division. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. First, we invite the challenger to the scale with a record of 35 wins, no losses, 22 knockouts. He is the WBC #1 ranked featherweight contender, the undefeated Ray Vargas.
This is only Ray Vargas' second fight since 2019. Remember, he was in that horrific motorcycle accident, correction. So second fight in 3 years.
125.5 pounds, 125.5 pounds for the challenger, Ray Vargas.
But he looked good in his
And now, with a record of 24 wins, no losses, with 16 knockouts, he'll be making the first defense of his title. Here's the reigning WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, Mark Magnifico Magsayo.
I hate when fighters do that too. That's his belt from 122 that he no longer has. that Fulton has.
125.5 pounds, 125.5 pounds for Mark Magsayo, the champion.
But I like the fight. It's just not nothing that really moves the needle for casual fans. But I expect it to be a fun fight, though. I got Ray Vargas, even though he is the smaller fighter. This is only his second fight at 126 pounds officially. Like, he's officially moved up. And this is only his second fight in nearly 3 years since he got into the motorcycle accident. His last fight was on the undercard of Canelo versus Plant against a Leonardo Baez. Yeah, he just carrying that joint around. I hate when fighters do that, or they carry some, like, I hate that shit. It's like, bro, you're not champion down there no more.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen.
He does have a huge
TGB
height
Promotions Showtime Championship Boxing Premier Boxing Champions presents the main event of the evening, the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World, Mark Magsayo versus Ray Vargas.
Nope, no news yet, Leonardo. We're still waiting on what's going to happen with that, with the WBA.
To the Alamo City, San Antonio, Texas.
We're still waiting on what's going to happen with the WBA. And Lee Wood and Leo Santa Cruz, who's supposed to be fighting. But let's talk about the card real quick. All right, welcome. TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. This Saturday on Showtime, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Showtime YouTube page. First is they're going to open up with 2 fights. One of them is going to be Rashidi Ellis in his PBC debut, taking on the Jose. Here, let me go pull it up right here. Taking on the Jose Murafo. Here, let me see if I can pull it up here for those who didn't see it. You know, them weighing in right here. Here's Rashidi Ellis weighing in for his PBC debut.
153.5 pounds, 153.5 pounds for Rashid.
Trapped over Golden Boy for a while, for years, and they wasn't able to really do nothing with him. And he's going to be a nice addition to the 154-pound stable over at with PBC. And the guy he fighting, this is a late replacement. They just found him off the street somewhere pretty much like yesterday. So this guy that he's facing is 13-10-2. So this is just a showcase fight for Rashidi Ellis to get the rust off. And also to, you know, for PBC, you know, it's his debut. So that's going to be on the Showtime page. And then the card is actually going to open up with who's supposed to be this the new hot prospect under
pounds for Jackson Marinez, 138.
I mean, well, Rashidi's been off for a while, so you know you would think that it's only natural for him to fight at 154 now.
15 wins, no losses with 11 knockouts. The rising lightweight star making his Showtime debut. Frank the Ghost Martin.
This is the guy that we're supposed to be paying attention
137.5 pounds, 137.5 pounds for Frank the Ghost Martin.
As you can see, he's trained by Derek James, and he's in the Errol Spence camp, promoted by Man Down Promotions. So he's supposed to be the new hot thing at 135 pounds. So he's so the card on Showtime.
Frank the Ghost Martin versus El Phoenix Jackson Marinez.
So the card on Showtime is supposed to open up with Frank Martin versus Jackson Marinez. That's not
San Antonio Premier Boxing Champions continues with our official weigh-in.
That's 9 p.m. Eastern. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. And then it's going to be Frank Martin versus, my bad, I got a little confused. It's going to be Frank Martin versus the guy, Jackson Marinez. And then it's going to be Carlos Castro as the second fight versus Brandon Figueroa. And this is at 126 pounds. So Brandon Figueroa is now done with 122, it seems, and campaigning at 126. So if there's going to be a rematch between him and Stephen Fulton, it's looking like it's going to have to happen at 126 pounds. But they did say yesterday that Brandon Figueroa, if he does win against Carlos Castro tomorrow, then he's in line for the winner of the main event, which is going to be Ray Vargas and Mark Magsayo. So sometime later on this year, we could possibly see Ray Vargas against, because I'm thinking Ray Vargas is going to win. Yeah, Marinez is the dude that was supposed to have beat Rolly.
In at 126.2 pounds, slightly over the limit. He has 2 hours to come back and make weight at 126
He's just gotta get butt ass naked.
Once again, this is for the WBC Featherweight World Title Eliminator.
See? So this
Looks
is a title
like his
eliminator
corner
at
has a
126.
plan to make him weigh in at that 126-pound limit, stepping onto the scale once again.
But how would you rate this card, though? I would rate it a C+. It just has no casual appeal, basically.
Brandon Figueroa weighs in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds even. 126 for the Heartbreaker.
It's better than the Chisora Pulev card, and I rate that a C. By the way, Omar Figueroa and Adrian Broner are supposed to be fighting like August the 20th. All right, and here's the main event.
His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, is the defending world
Vargas.
champion, fighting out of Los Angeles by way of Tagbilaran City, Bohol in the Philippines. Here is the WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, Mark Magnifico Magsayo. Well, fans, here we go with the battle of undefeated featherweights, undefeated stars of the division. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. First, we invite the challenger to the scale with a record of 35 wins, no losses, 22 knockouts. He is the WBC #1 ranked featherweight contender, the undefeated Ray Vargas.
Ray Vargas looks huge, but he's never really competed over 123 pounds since his last fight, outside of his last fight and this fight.
125.5 pounds, 125.5 pounds for the challenger, Ray Vargas.
And Magsayo.
And now, with a record of 24 wins, no losses, with 16 knockouts, he'll be making the first defense of his title. Here's the reigning WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, Mark Magnifico Magsayo.
So on paper, Magsayo is the bigger fighter, but when you see them face off, and I wonder how they're going to look in the ring.
125.5 pounds, 125.5 pounds for Mark Magsayo, the champion.
But as you can see, when they face off, that Ray Vargas is going to look significantly bigger. You know, longer frame, obviously, taller. But I can't wait to see, or I'm interested in seeing how they're going to look once they're in the ring together. But, you know, I hate, to say it like this, but listen, I don't think that Mark Magsayo can beat a healthy Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr., didn't have a full training camp with his pop. Unfortunately, he ended up losing his pop, prayers to him and his family. And also, he had a significant injury and coming off of a layoff. But hey, I understand excuses and all that type of shit, but that's just my opinion, I don't think that Mark Magsayo can beat a healthy Gary Russell. Yeah, 24-0, 16 KOs, 35-0. (35-0, 35-0, 22 KOs for Ray Vargas, and 24-0 with 16 KOs for Mark Magsayo. So definitely somebody's O is going to go. Like, for sure.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. TGB Promotion Showtime Championship Boxing Premier Boxing Champions presents the main event of the evening, the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World, Mark Magsayo versus Rey Vargas.
All right, guys, so this is what I'm going to do. I got to do a show at 6 o'clock where we're going to be talking about multiple things every two, unless it's a big fight like Canelo versus Golovkin, or, you know, Usyk versus Joshua. I'll be doing streams on Monday, 6 p.m., Tuesday, 6 p.m., Thursday, 6 p.m., Friday, 6 p.m. And then we'll be streaming during boxing events, you know, the main event. So, for example, tomorrow I'll be streaming during the main event of Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev 2. Then later on in the night, I'll be covering these fights on the undercard and also streaming during the main event, Mark Magsayo versus Rey Vargas, if you want to hang out, watch some brief legal fair use highlights, and talk about the fights. So I'll see you guys in about 2.5 hours or so. Actually, 3 hours, 3.5 hours for my boxing stream, where we're going to talk about multiple topics. Take a time out, like the video, subscribe. All the links to my social media, my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram is down below in the description box. Also, take a time out, download the WBC app powered by the Vive Network. Links are also down below.